Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I just want to talk about a couple of the new Olights, which are pretty exciting. Today they're having their sale. It is October 22nd, and it's going to run until tomorrow, October 23rd. Sometimes before they do these sales, they ask if I want to try out some different gear just to give them some feedback on it, and they send it on loan, which is very nice of them. I do appreciate that quite a bit. This is a very familiar light. This is the i5T EOS, but this one is in titanium, which is really awesome. I know a lot of guys like the titanium version of the gear. Sometimes obviously they do like, copper and some different special runs. This one is supposed to be limited edition to only 9,999. So, almost 10,000 of these made. Now that sounds like a lot, but you can imagine, being limited, that normal models, there are a ton more, all right? A lot more than 10,000 of each of them made. So, when you think limited edition, you think like, oh, there's 100 of them, or maybe 1,000 of them. Well, there's about 10,000 of these, but that is still a limited edition. So here's a close-up of the light. I mean, you guys are pretty familiar at this point with the i5T EOS. Awesome flashlight. This runs on a single AA. So all the people out there that just don't like all the lithiums and rechargeables and stuff, single AA, it's kind of hard to beat. This one is just in titanium. Two modes, very, very simple. Highest output is 300 lumens. First it starts off on low, but you do the double click and it ramps up to the high 300 lumens. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This one just happens to be in titanium. Now, besides that, they also have a limited edition version of the OPen 2 in copper. I just did a video on the first one, which I liked. I had no problems with it. Some people were saying that there's leaks. The cartridge that came with it had some issues. I'm not sure if they resolved that. The second version of the copper one I hope to eventually get to try out, and I'll really kind of run it through its paces. The first one, after hearing that it did leak for some people, I wrote, like purposely just scribbled, just to see if I can get that to happen, and so far no issues with it. But for the people who have had issues with it, I did see some comments saying that there's some different cartridges that you can use, if you want to just ensure that you're not going to have any kind of problem like that. Now, besides that, they also have 3 colored versions of the Warrior X. Pretty cool light. I believe I did a video on the Warrior X back in the day. Nothing's changed except for the fact that they have some limited edition colors. So, Christmas is coming up. I think they have red and green and then maybe blue or something. So if you like the color, it's an option. But what I was most interested in is this. This is their first lantern, the OLantern. I think this thing is awesome. Now, you can see the bail on top has this kind of unique hook kind of thing going on. I'm not so fond of the bail. I guess the purpose is that you can, kind of hook this into something, against the wall. I just prefer more of a traditional kind of symmetrical bail. So that's really the only hit I would give on this one. But you can see it's rechargeable on the bottom. Super simple setup. There's a button on the front where you can see it's kind of ramping up and down. It is losing power because I've been using it a lot. Christina absolutely loves this. But yeah, it's their first lantern, which is awesome. So you're gonna turn it on, push and hold, it'll cycle through the modes, low, medium, high. I will point out the fact that this has a diffuser paper that's not part of this light. Christina did this. She usually does this with different lanterns that we have. So if you look in there, you can see that it is just a piece of paper that she cut out and just circled around. I'm having a hard time getting this out. Well, unfortunately, I don't want to ruin it, and that's just probably going to be annoyed by that, but that's fine. I'm going to have to take it out because I want to show you guys what you're actually going to get. I just want to say that you can definitely modify that the way she did. All right. So this is what it's actually looking like. It's obviously going to be brighter, but it's more like, to me, it's more of a direct harsh light. Let me get this on a lower mode so you can kind of see that. So on the low mode, you can see the actual dome for the bulb, because the bulb itself is diffused. Okay, you have the LED, and then you have an already diffused kind of milky filter. So this is supposed to be diffused, but I find that on the higher outputs, it really is kind of a direct harsh light. So if this is on a table, it's kind of distracting. The diffuser filter, which again anyone can do with a piece of paper, works really well. But what's interesting about this is that you get a spare bulb, okay, which flickers. I thought that was really cool. The only downside is there's no place to put this thing. There's no like store. It would be amazing if there was like a little pocket or something that screws into underneath, or some kind of way to actually store this, but there isn't. So I still absolutely love this idea. So your regular lantern with a couple outputs. This only has one output, but this one has the flickering flame. Okay, so it gives you that effect that it's actual fire going on, which I really, really like. Obviously, you can see it's a very orange color, but when this is in, you can see it does not change modes. It doesn't change brightness levels. It's just that kind of flickering light. But I prefer that. I think that's awesome. Really, really cool. I love the white and everything. And like I said, I definitely prefer diffuse, as Christina does. But this is just a really, really cool feature on that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just want to show these. I thought these were pretty cool. Going to give Olight some feedback on these. Like I said, personally, I like to see a place to store the extra one because there's two different, bulbs that you can screw on. I mean, this just is going to float around. A lot of people would probably lose the spare one. If you tend to use this one more, maybe, this one goes in a drawer and you forget about it and it gets lost, or vice versa. So like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how they changed the design. The cap's it's not really, I'd say like maybe something where you can kind of screw it to the cap, but then obviously it might get in the way of the bail and hanging it and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how they'd actually change that design, but like I said, it just kind of stinks that it's separate. And then besides that, obviously I like a different bail design, but they did this the way they did it for a reason. But other than that, it's pretty cool. Functions great. No problem with, functionality of it. I really like the flickering bulb. I think that's awesome. So anyway, just a heads up. They do these sales all the time. You should definitely follow them on other social media and stuff. I think they have a Facebook page, which I don't follow. I should look out for it and probably follow that. I just follow them on Instagram. And every time they have these sales, they post on Instagram. But yeah, totally known light. A lot of people have a bunch of different versions of this, but now there is officially a titanium one. I don't know if this is going to be the only run of them. I have no idea how long they're going to last. But if you happen to like your titanium stuff, of course, check it out. But the lantern is most exciting to me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just want to give you the heads up there. As far as prices, I'm not going to go over all the different prices and discounts and all that stuff. Just if you're actually serious about getting it, check out the website. So that's it for today. Just want to give you a heads up on that. I do apologize for the background noise. I'm quiet for a second. Maybe you could hear that. I don't know if you've heard it throughout the video. But yeah, the second I sat down to make this video, 3 trucks pulled up. This is from my neighbors across the street. They have a second home. It's kind of a longer story, but this is their second home. They've been kind of renovating and stuff, and they've had a landscaping crew come. This is the craziest crew I've ever seen in my life. There's probably 7 or 8 guys out there. They have all kinds of machines. They have like a massive ride-on machine that blows leaves sideways, and there's 3 or 4 guys with leaf blowers, and they got like a wood chipper truck and like all this stuff. I mean, they come in and they clean up an entire yard in like a half an hour, not even. But of course, I go to sit down and vroom, vroom, all the machines start up. I'm like, oh God. So if you happen to hear background noise and that bothers you, well, at least now you know what it was. So that's it for now. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.